This is a quick instructional on how to set up your Holy bike lights and what's what and how to plug things in, and a little quick unboxing of what's in the box. So to go ahead and get started, I got this one all ready to go. So I'll show you what's in the box. First thing is your ultra cool postcard with the Holy bike lights on there. It's going to be your remote, color change remote, your saddlebag. Inside the saddlebag is going to be your battery box and your control unit. You can take those out. I already have batteries in this one, 8 AA batteries, ready to go. So I can show you how to plug those up. Here's the control unit, which plugs into the lights. There's two ends on this. There's a male, sometimes it will be a female end, but these will plug right into the light strip. And this little jewel right here, this has to stick outside of the bag when you put them on your bike, because otherwise the remote control won't be able to reach the signal. It's an IR. So let's get started. Oh, got a couple more things. Zip ties. These go every 4 inches or so around your bike, which I'll show you later. And these are your Holy bike lights. I'll take these out of the bag and show you. They come in a spool. They usually have two ends on them. One end will be up by your bike bag, your saddlebag, where your connecting pin will come out and plug into this on either side. Sometimes there may be a male end on this and then a female, but there will most always be a female side. So depending on which controller I send you, you would just plug these in. And they can be switched or reversed, so if you plug them in and they don't work, just switch this around the other way and plug it in. And also make sure that your battery box, the switch is turned on. There's going to be an on-off switch here. So the on-off switch has to be turned to on. Off. When you turn it off, they should automatically go off without the controller. Sometimes when you turn them on, they will automatically turn on, and then you can turn them off with the controller if you need to. So okay, how does all this work? First thing we want to do to check our lights, we're just going to leave them on the spool to check that these lights do in fact work. So we're going to take our battery box. Once we have our batteries in, we're going to take the white controller, plug this in to the 5mm jack point. So now you have your control unit plugged into your battery box. Next thing you want to do is plug your control unit into the lights. This is how we get power to the lights. So you'll see there's 4 pins on there on this one, and we'll plug it in. And if it doesn't work right away, don't be alarmed. Check your box and turn your battery box on to the on position. So now they come on. So obviously I do have this plugged in correct. So if they were plugged in wrong, if they were switched around the other way, notice they don't come on. I just switched it around and they do not come on. So you want to make sure that you have them plugged in the right way. So I'm going to switch that around, and yes, they do come on. So now we'll test it out with our remote. We want to have our black control unit there available for this. So we're going to test red, green, blue, perfect, orange, nice. Everything seems to be in working order. Perfect, flash, the fade, really nice. And you can play around with these options. The controller does come with 6 buttons on here that are do-it-yourself buttons. So if you click the first one on here, you click that. Once you click this first do-it-yourself button, you can mix the RGB to the color that you want, and then you can leave it on your bike for future use. And you have 6 optional do-it-yourself buttons. You also have auto, which will give it a slow fade, or a slow strobe. Then you have flash, and you can speed up or slow down the amount of flash by the slow and quick button. So if I want this to go faster, I'll just hit quick a bunch of times and it'll speed up. If I want it to go slower, I'll click the slow button a bunch of times and it'll slow this strobe down a little bit. And I'll go to fade, and fade will do the same thing. If you click on one of the fade buttons, you go into a fade. Right now it's got a super slow fade, so if I want to speed that up, I can do the same thing. I can hit the quick button a bunch of times and it'll speed this fade process way up if I just keep clicking this button. So eventually we're really moving through the colors, okay? I like it kind of slow when I'm writing, so I like to set it really slow. The other buttons on here are jump, jump 3, and jump 7. And these just alternate colors, which is pretty cool. And sometimes when I'm writing late at night, I will just put it on red, because red signifies to stop or caution. You can also control the brightness intensity. So if somebody says that your lights are too bright, like a city official or somebody, you can say no problem and you can dim them. You can hit the lower dimming button. You're not going to see it as much in the video here, but you can bring the lights way down. And if you want to bring them back up, oh, here we go. So they're going down. Can't tell as much because of the daytime light, but and then you can bring them back to full bright. So dimmer switch, RGB color change, do-it-yourself buttons, slow and quick changes the rate of your flash or your fade. Also your jump button, jump between colors, and that's about it. You also have an on and off button from the controller. A lot of times if I go in somewhere and I'm gonna turn everything off, I will turn the battery box off as well, so I don't run my lights, my battery lights down. So after you turn that off, go ahead and turn it off on your battery box as well. Now, so I want to show you really quickly about how the lights go on the bike. I've done a lot of these bikes, so the best way to do this is you want your connecting pin. This one's different because I have a different controller on mine, but you want this pin to be really close to where your saddlebag is going to be, so that it'll reach and plug in. And you're gonna start vertical and come down the stem. One thing I will recommend is that you leave the 3M backing on the lights. So this is nice because it keeps any of the solder points along here. It keeps any of the solder points from touching anything metal. Because if you have anything exposed underneath the lights, they are made in China. If they're exposed and they touch metal to metal, they might short out. It won't kill your lights or anything, but it will make them go out periodically. So you want to make sure that you leave that 3M backing on there, and the zip ties will hold everything in place. So be liberal with your zip ties, keep them close to the frame. This will keep you riding safe, as an improper installation could cause a bike accident. We don't want that. So what you want to do first is you want to start here at the top by your saddlebag. You want to come down the stem and you want to make a turn to the back end of the bike, go down, curve around here, and this back side doesn't have to be zip tied down. You can just make a simple curve. Don't worry about securing this part. Just make sure it's away from the inside of the spoke. So you're going to come around, come up this way. You're going to come up around the front of the bike frame. And then when you come around the front, from the bottom, you're going to go to the top bar of your frame. And it sounds a little weird, but just trust me on this because I've done a bunch of them. So you're going to come around the top bar. And once you get to this point, you're going to go down the back again. You're going to go down the back side. You're going to make your curve. You're going to come down right by the sprocket. Make sure all the zip ties are really close in by the sprocket. You don't want to have any of the lights coming off near the sprocket because that will definitely cause an accident. So make sure you install these properly. And then you come up the bottom side of the frame, around the post again, around the front of the post. And then once you come around the post, you're going to come around this side of the bike frame. Mine aren't perfect as you can see, but you're going to come around this side of the frame. And then you probably have a few feet left. So what I normally do is I wrap around the stem here a few times, and then I come around the top, and I keep going down until I hit the bottom end. Now, with this piece down here, I just have it open for now because I just put these on here today. But what I like to do is I like to secure those against the frame with the zip tie as well. And you can have this underneath. If you want to, I might suggest taking a little bit of hot glue and just filling up that seam or covering this up so it doesn't cause any connection problems, because these are electronic and you don't want any metal to metal touching. So that would be nice and secure. So that's how you put your Holy Bike lights on the bike. I've done a lot of different patterns and this one seems to work the best. So real quickly, you start up at the seat. You have your connector close enough to your saddlebag where this will be here. You're going to come down, you're going to go back, around the bottom, come up here, around the front end of the frame. You're going to come around the top side of the frame. Then you're going to go down the back side, by the sprocket, up the bottom, around the front again, and then you're going to come around the top side. You're going to loop it 1 or 2 times, and then you're going to come down. So you will get a full frame coverage out of what we send you in the mail. So that's about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to email us anytime from our Holy Bike Lights website at the contact page. My name is Justin Davis, and if I can help you in any way, send me an email. Thanks so much for buying Holy Bike Lights. We'll talk to you later.